The Olympics are in full swing right this minute and will continue for another 2 weeks. Our next speaker, Jeffrey Purtee, watched his first Olympics back when the U.S. president was Lyndon Baines Johnson. Yes, he caught Olympic fever while watching the coverage on his family's brand new 19-inch black and white TV. Having watched decades of the Olympics, Jeffrey has suggestions for your viewing pleasure that may help you get maximum enjoyment of this wonderful event. Speaking today on the topic of Olympics, triple, triple, please join me in welcoming Jeffrey Purtee.
Okay, Rachel, Saul, Andreas. A black and white television is this little box that used to... I know it's hard to believe we used to live in a world without color. But that is when I caught Olympic fever, 1968. I was old enough to understand what I was watching. Lyndon Baines Johnson was in fact the president, and in truth, the Earth's crust had just recently cooled. We are going to talk triple, triple today. 3 categories of events: the may go, the no go, and the yes go. And in each one of those categories, I will have 3 events for your consideration. Starting off with may go. These are events that you may have never watched, but that I have watched over the years and really enjoyed. Starting with an event that happened just yesterday morning in its first iteration. Who knows what is the single most dangerous sport in Olympic history? Anybody know? Wrong. It's not fencing, where they're actually trying to stab each other. You might think that, but it's not. It's actually equestrian cross country. More injuries have happened in that event than in any other in Olympic history. I love equestrian cross country. It is a 3-4 mile course filled with obstacles, fences, water hazards. They have to make a minimum time, so they're galloping the whole way. It's what riding a horse was all about originally. Not running a track, but actually in the open field. And it is so exciting to watch because at every obstacle you have no idea what the horse is going to do. You really don't. These are wonderfully trained horses, but I have seen them at full gallop run up at a hazard, stop. Like that, off goes the rider flying over the hazard. I've seen them half jump over hazards. I've seen them slip in the water. Now, that's not the only reason. I find it a beautiful sport. But if you get a chance, watch equestrian cross country. It's absolutely amazing. The second event that you may not have caught, I alluded to it earlier, and always reminds me how inadequate I am, because I've never had to fight to defend my life, is fencing. Fencing is one of those sports that people used to have to know how to do years and years ago to actually survive. It no longer is necessary, but it is still so elegant, so graceful, so amazing, so fast. It is, in fact, so fast that the only way they can time the various hits and strikes is all of the various implements, the swords that they use, the epis, have to be computer controlled so that the computers can actually decide who gets the quickest hit. Then referees decide whether it was a legal hit. It is just a fascinating sport if you watch it. By the way, little tip, if you visit NBCOlympics.com, which I'm absolutely sure is blocked here at work, because everything is blocked here at work, but once you get home, if you visit NBCOlympics.com, you can watch full coverage every single event that is going on in the Olympics right now. It is amazing. I watch it late at night sometimes if I wake up. And finally, third, this may surprise you. I have to give you a little background. There was an era decades ago when tennis was actually a fascinating strategic sport because the power game with all the modern technology and modern materials had not yet taken over. So you could have successful tennis players that were purely defensive players. You could have successful players that were purely serve and volley players. There was a place for almost everybody. The power game has taken over tennis, and nobody wins unless you have a power game. It's that simple. But that same strategy now exists in badminton. Badminton is fascinating. I have seen people win medals with a purely slow defensive strategy. I've seen people win medals with an aggressive old-style serve and volley type strategy, whacking everything they possibly can. I never would have thought that tiny little badminton with that shuttlecock could be that interesting. But it's one of the events I look forward to every 4 years, badminton. Now let's move on from the 3 may-goes to the 3 no-goes. Starting off with synchronized swimming. It was a sad day in Olympics history when this sport was allowed in, which, as we all know, was done so that the Eastern Bloc countries could just get another medal because nobody else would want to do this. Then we fooled them and we won the medals anyway. I'm going to show you every synchronized swimming event. That's it. You've seen it. Synchronized swimming for the masses. That's all it is. You know a sport is not a sport when the commentators have to spend every 5 minutes telling us, yes, this really is a sport. Nobody says stuff like that in track and field, or basketball, or weightlifting, but in synchronized swimming, I guarantee you, watch the commentary, they will regularly remind you, yes, this is a real sport. No, it isn't. Do not go to synchronized swimming, and do not go to what I call bounce the ball and smile rhythmic gymnastics. Yet another plot by the Eastern Europeans to gain more medals on us, because this is a sport that consists of lovely young ladies bouncing balls and twirling ribbons and batons and catching them and then smiling. That's it. That's the whole sport. Don't believe me? Watch it and see. Skip rhythm gymnastics, and the worst of the worst. Anybody tell me what sport in the Olympics, or for that matter the World Cup, is guaranteed to end after 90 minutes with a score of 0-0?
Soccer.
Soccer is the correct answer. Soccer, you play 90 minutes to get a score of 0-0. Then you play a 45-minute bonus period to get a score of 0-0. Then you settle the whole thing on penalty kicks. Folks, this isn't a sport. I don't know why they play it. Just go right to the penalty kicks and cut to the chase. If you want real sleep-inducing boredom, soccer. Now let's conclude with the yes-go. The 3 sports that the Olympics is set for. 1, gymnastics. Going on right now. And it's beautiful. Attractive, fit people bouncing all over the tarmac. Parallel bars, high bars, rings, floor exercises. This is Olympic sports at its finest. It's elegant, and it's athletic, and it's beautiful. Another real sport, this is a surprise, beach volleyball. Beach volleyball is like a giant party. Not only are these people athletic, but they're really good looking and they're wearing no clothes at all. Folks, you cannot beat this. Naked people on the beach with music and they're athletic. Folks, I mean, it's like the perfect Olympic sport. Everybody seems to have a good time at beach volleyball. I always watch beach volleyball. It's so much fun. And then finally, of course, the sport that we all think of with Olympics, but it can't go mentioned too many times, track and field. I mean, it is the essence of purity. Who is the fastest man or woman on earth? Who is the best long-distance runner on earth? Who can throw a javelin the farthest? It comes in the second week. I'm glued to the television the whole time. Track and field is the essence of the Olympics. So there you have. May go, no go, and yes go. Enjoy this magical 2 weeks.